Hi, and thanks for joining us for the 2022 Dirtbike Off-Road Two-Stroke video series. Today we've got the Husqvarna TE300i. This is the latest generation of Husqvarna's transfer port fuel injection technology. This came out a few years ago, of course. Pretty much turned the two-stroke world upside down. There are big pros and cons for TPI fuel injection. The most noticeable thing as you approach the bike is there's no oil to mix in with the gas. First things first, there's no oil to mix in with the gas. The TE300i is completely oil injected as well as fuel injected. That means you mix in injector oil. You can't use the same type of stuff you're used to mixing in with your two strokes in the gas. It's a completely different mixture. Beyond that, when you ride the bike, the power delivery is completely different. There are pros and cons. People will argue endlessly about fuel injection on two strokes. The most dramatic difference is power delivery. Even though on a dyno, a carbureted two-stroke is pretty much the same as the TPI two-stroke, the feel is completely different. TPI is much smoother than the old carbureted bikes. Some people like the hit. They like that aggressive front-end lift that you get to clear logs and big rocks. Other people like the smooth power delivery of the fuel-injected bikes. As for us, well, we've come to adjust our riding style to accommodate fuel injection. After 3 years of dealing with it, we pretty much know what to expect. All those early glitches and hesitations, they're gone. The latest generation of TPI two-strokes are very good. They run very clean, and they deliver on the promise of extended fuel mileage. A TE300i is good for about 40 miles on a tank of regular riding. Beyond that, you can put together long rides where you just swing by a fuel station that might be close to the road. You can pump gas right out of the pump. As far as the 2022 model goes, there are no major changes for Husqvarna this year. It's pretty much the same thing we saw in 2021. The one big exception is BrakTec brakes. Previously, Husqvarna had Magura hydraulics on the clutch and the brakes. This year that's given away to BrakTec mostly for supply issues. As far as we can tell, the BrakTec components are about as good as the Maguras they replace, but as we get further into testing, we'll be able to report on wear and how they stand up to big temperature extremes. You might notice that in the Husqvarna line there are two different 300 two-strokes. One is the TX300. That's more of a competition bike. This is the TE, which is considered more of a trail bike. The biggest differences are a smoother power delivery and the suspension. The TE uses the Xplor fork, which is a coil-spring fork, whereas the TX, with its more competition-oriented mission, has the Exact air fork, which is the same fork that Husqvarna uses on its motocross bikes. Up front, the coil spring is much softer. It's just set up that way. It's made more for rocks, roots, and lower speed types of riding, the type of stuff you might encounter on a trail that's really tight, first, second gear stuff. If most of your riding is more wide open, if you're a desert rider, or if you like GPs or motocross, the TX, that's more the bike you want. To tell you the truth, we kind of prefer the TE of the two bikes. Overall, the TE300i is one of the very favorite bikes that we get in the dirt bike garage. Everybody kind of argues over it, fights over it when we get one in. We kind of have to take turns on it. That's because it's so universally easy to ride. Doesn't matter if you're a pro, you're a beginner, whatever type of riding you like to do, the TE is just about perfect for it. This year, the price has gone up for all Husqvarna's models. The MSRP for the 2022 model is $10,599. That's pretty much one of the most expensive dirt bikes you can buy. It's more expensive than a KTM or a GasGas. KTM sees the Husqvarna line as its premium line of the three motorcycle brands under its umbrella. We'll be getting more 2022 off-road bikes in the near future, so check back at dirtbikemagazine.com. Also, make sure to follow all of our social media accounts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for the latest in off-road news and motocross information. For the latest on when our newest videos are released, hit that subscribe button on YouTube right now.